Hey everyone, just want to let you know if you're watching the podcast or trying to watch the podcast, you may be aware that there's no video. We just had a little technical malfunction. We got audio this week. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast audio only. This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. I got a question for you, man.
Oh, I cannot wait.
All right. If animals could talk, which animal would be the most annoying?
My dog. It'd be
Just
dogs.
your dog.
Oh, it'd be dogs.
Just dog. What would it be? What do they say?
I want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to throw the ball. I want to throw the ball.
Are they the most annoying because they live with us?
Yeah, probably.
Or it's like...
Probably. I think the most fun would be like crows and ravens. I think they would heckle you. Like, hey, I'm going to crap on your car.
Yeah.
And they would all laugh about it. I think that's what they would do.
Yeah.
I would like the crows.
Which one would be the funniest?
Crows. I think that is funny. I think the crows and ravens
like
would
most
be funny.
naturally comedic.
The ones
monkeys, maybe.
The cats would be able to talk. You would never know it. They wouldn't even say nothing to you. They'd just look at you.
Oh, they would. They would say, "Bow before me."
Bow before me.
Slave.
They would be like, I think if cats could talk, they would be mean girls.
Yeah.
Is kind of how they would be. They would just like sarcastic, passive aggressive,
Oh, yeah.
mean.
Have you read any Jim Butcher? Oh yeah, you started the Dresden Files, didn't
Dude,
you?
I gotta finish that book.
Yeah. So he has this other series. It's like a fantasy steampunk kind of series. It's super fun.
Really?
Yeah, it's like airships and whatnot.
I like it already.
It's fun. It was a super fun series. But anyways, there's talking cats in it. And he does it masterfully. He writes talking cats master. I mean, they're so pretentious and prideful.
Absolutely. And just jerks. Really.
Just
Cats are
jerks.
jerks, man. They really are.
I love
but here's what they do. Every once in a while, they're so masterfully manipulative. They'll show you just enough affection that you think, oh, Senpai has seen me.
Well, that's like cats don't like this is me and Steph talk about this, that sometimes the cats won't come to her because she's too thirsty for them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
And I'm not.
Yeah.
And they come to me like they'll.
Yeah, one of your cats really likes me.
Yeah, which one? The black one? Oh
yeah.
Kiki likes guests.
Yeah. I made your kids so mad with Kiki.
What did you?
I said I made it like it was Kitty.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I said my cat's name is Kiki. Go meow meow meow. And
Evie
Evie was like, that is not her name. It's something like Kiki T-Rex or something. I don't know what it was. Yeah. And I kept saying, oh, hey, Kiki, meow, meow, meow. And she was coming over to me and he was like, and Archer was just laughing.
Yeah, he just likes that. Kiki is his cat. She loves him.
Yeah.
She cuddles with him, lays with him. We got all these pictures. She'll the other day, we put him down at night or whatever, and she's black. She snuck into his room when we were closing the door, and we had to do like meds at 10 p.m. or something. He's asleep, and we go in there, and we see like two little eyes from his bed, laying with him, sleeping with him, and they're just like she's like looks up at us, and she's in there sleeping with him. She loves him.
Yeah.
She's always kind of followed him around.
That's good.
Yeah, she's a good cat.
Yeah,
I love our cats.
I think the dogs would be the most annoying.
Cats are so thirsty. I mean, dogs are so thirsty.
Oh, they're ridiculous.
Thirsty for people so bad.
My dog, last night I was trying to do some scholarly work, sitting at my computer, and the dog's face is like 3 inches from my face.
What kind of scholarly work were you doing?
I just reading the Bible, so he's looking at me.
At night?
You don't read the Bible at night?
Never.
Really?
Yeah, how about that?
I do. I read stuff all the time.
I mean, that's like I wouldn't ever, but it's almost exclusively morning stuff. Yeah.
Well,
how about that?
Anyways, it don't matter.
Yeah, that's interesting.
My dog's staring at me, and I'm trying to ignore him. He's just looking. Just looking. It's like he'll eventually go away. And I'm like, go away, dude. And then his tail's wagging like, hey, you see me? I know you see me. And it's like, if that dude could talk, he would run me insane.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I think crows would be funny. I think monkeys would be good hecklers.
I think monkeys would be funny too.
They would be funny.
I think they'd be violent.
Yeah, like be mean.
Brutal.
Oh, brutal.
Like cussing people out all the time.
Down.
Yeah.
Tigers and lions would be scary. if they could talk. It
Yeah.
would be scary because they would tell you they're fixing to kill you and
They'd
stuff.
be like, "You look yummy.
You look delicious.
I want to
and
eat
you'd be
your
like,
face."
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What else is there? Fish. Fish would be stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like fish would be stupid.
Fish and reptiles are dumber than rocks.
Yes.
If you ever looked in their eyes,
Yeah,
and be like,
there's
there's
dumb.
nothing there,
Nothing
man.
there.
Nothing there. I watched this documentary the other day. I've actually watched it several times. Fascinating.
Chickens would be funny. Chickens would
Chickens
be
are dumb,
accidentally
too.
funny.
Yeah,
They're dumb.
they're super dumb.
But they were like, I'll see some food. I want some food. That's what they'd be
Yeah.
saying all the time.
There's this documentary called Life on Our Planet. It's a Netflix documentary. Morgan Freeman.
Of
narrated
course.
Stuff. It's wonderful. It's really well done. And it kind of
yes.
looks through the stages of life through the 4 billion years, whatever, of the world. And there's this huge leap in brain power from where reptiles branch off from mammals.
Yeah.
Like in early, it's like millions of years ago, before
Yeah.
the dinosaurs, really. And the mammals have so much more brain power than all the reptiles. Every one of them. There's no smart reptile. Like they are all lizard brain. Like eat, smell, eat. You know. And but the mammals were always smaller. And throughout all that time in nocturnal and like in survival mode and like hiding,
They were
and
scared of
stuff.
all these lizard brains trying to eat them all the
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
And so they got more brain power.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
I saw a thing the other day that said sharks have been around for 450 million years. And it's like before
one
there
that-
were trees.
Yeah,
It's like, what?
it is.
What?
It was before
Shut
there's
up.
trees. Yep.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, fish. I mean, they're the same way. It's like, well, you know, one of the earliest life forms are, coral jellyfish kind of stuff. Jellyfish are so stinking old.
So old.
So squid, octopus, they're so old.
Octopus is an alien.
They're not.
They are.
Yeah, some people think that.
They are.
They're
They're
not.
super smart. Octopus
Yeah.
are not stupid.
They're not stupid, but they are old as stinking
They're
dirt.
also freaky.
Yeah.
Octopuses are freaky.
Yeah.
Like they can ink, their camouflage, they can change their skin, dude. Like they look like rocks. The octopus is weird.
I read another book. This is a sci-fi novel. Adrian Tchaikovsky. You ever read Adrian Tchaikovsky?
No.
He's a very fascinating author. He's very smart. And he wrote this sci-fi novel about like these this is deep kind of in the future, and these human scientists are terraforming the planet, and they've developed like a virus that pushes like evolution real fast. Right?
Oh.
And so they just drop it in, and they're trying to experiment on these, like trying to make a human on their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes AWOL, and their little human empire just kind of trashes, but it's just left on this planet, and spiders and octopus get it. And so the spiders, over the course of maybe like 10,000 years, develop all sentience and all this kind of stuff, and octopuses do the same in the ocean.
Yeah.
It is so fascinating. It's so well done.
Octopus is weird, man.
Yeah.
They give me the creeps a little bit.
That sounds like a pretty wild prompt,
Yeah.
for a book. Like how that, I'm not sure it's interesting. It's just weird. But he's just a masterful writer. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any dumb writers.
Yeah.
Like who've written a good book. You can't be dumb and write a book.
No.
Because first of all, you got to be able to read.
Yeah.
You
that's
have
right.
to be able to write something that people want to read.
Yeah. I recommend highly any Adrian Tchaikovsky. It's called Children of Time.
Well.
Yeah. It's really good.
I probably will never read it, but
Yeah.
I need to get
It's
on
sci-fi.
Audible. That's like my latest thing. I need to start listening to
I
books.
have 250 Audible books in my library.
Yeah, I need to start Audible.
I've been an every month subscriber plus some since 2010.
I need to do it.
It's 15 years.
I listened to some books when I was mowing, and I'm like, man, I should just do this in the car.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm
what I'm going
working
to
outside or whatever, and
Because I like books and I like to read.
yeah, it makes you smarter,
It makes you more smarter.
more smarter.
That's what
Gooder.
I need.
Gooder in the
I need
brains.
to be gooder.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about Balaam?
We're going
Son
to talk
of
about the
Balaam?
Bible. I've been looking forward to this one because
Yeah.
it's such a wild story.
So weird.
Yeah, this is it's another iconic
He
story.
may be the greatest messianic prophet of them all, besides Isaiah.
Yeah, not even an Israelite.
Yeah, not even. And actually, we don't know what he is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't do. I thought, was he not Moab?
No, it doesn't say that. It says it was from his people. It's
Okay.
purposefully ambiguous.
Oh, okay. I thought. Well, Balak is Moab's king.
Yeah, but he's like, go get this guy out here.
Oh, okay.
It's weird.
How about that? I assumed he was.
Yeah.
Was,
it's purposefully ambiguous where he came from. But
You're right.
We know he's not an Israelite. That's all we know.
Yeah. Which is by the Euphrates in the land of his people. Wow. How about that? I have a little note there. There's a textual variant that says he's of the Ammonites.
Yeah.
But who knows if that's right?
That somebody couldn't stand it.
Yeah,
they had to put it in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you
couldn't stand the ambiguity. So let's set up the story.
Tell the story.
So we're in Numbers, and Israel's about to get their stuff together.
Hey, hold on 1 second. I got to use the potty real quick because I'm a dummy, and we'll start back.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're back, everyone.
Yeah.
Nature calls and we answer.
So,
just tell a story. What's going on with Balaam?
So we're setting it up. So Israel, a lot of the people who refused to go in the Promised Land have died. Miriam's died. Not all of them,
but a lot of them.
So the next generation is going to prove to be faithful, and God is kind of ramping up them going into the Promised Land. They're getting in some fights. They're getting they beat
come
up some
across
people,
some kings that are giving them some lip,
and they beat them down. The people of the area are scared.
Yeah.
And so one of the kings of what is his
which one?
The one that hires Balaam.
Oh, that's Moab. Balak.
Balak, the king of Moab.
You know how I remember it?
How?
Balak ends with a K and king.
Yeah.
He's the king, and because their names are one letter difference.
Yes.
Yeah. Balaam is the
well,
prophet.
when you're working with only 3 letters for almost every single word, stuff starts to run together. So Balak is like, hey, there's this prophet. And if he curses somebody, they're cursed. He speaks with God.
Yeah.
And his name's Balaam. So we're going to go hire him to curse Israel.
Yeah.
And so that's where the guy he gets is named Balaam.
Yeah.
We don't know what his tribe was. We don't know where he came from. We just know he's not an Israelite.
Yeah.
But we do know that God, Yahweh, talks to him.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. There's
no other prophet like him.
That's right. It's a similar little glimpse that we see with. It's not the same exact, but it's a similar glimpse with Melchizedek. It's like, God uses other people besides Israel.
Yeah,
it's like what you were talking about with Jonah yesterday.
Yes, and so in my sermon with Jonah, you get this. So the big picture of Jonah is that God doesn't just care about Israel.
Yeah,
right. And he says. There's a story at the end where Jonah has a big hissy fit, and he goes out in the desert and he's pouting, and God makes this plant grow over his head, and then God makes it die, and he's mad about the plant being dead, and he's like, "Look, you didn't plant or sow, and you're mad about this plant. Yeah. Should I not care about 120,000 people in Nineveh and their animals?" Which is interesting that he mentions animals.
It really is interesting,
which I like. Yeah. Someday we could talk about that, but. God's point is, I made Nineveh, I planted, I grew it, and I care about those people.
Yeah.
And so when you read the Old Testament, sometimes you get this myopic idea that God is only working through Israel and with Israel in the olden days.
Well, it's actually not from, I don't think it's from reading the Old Testament. I think it's from not reading the Old Testament.
Yeah.
You know, you get that idea from people that... there's like a presupposition that you might come to it, especially if you start with the Gospels or something, and that's all you got in your mind, because they're super prideful.
It's very Jewish centric, the Old Testament, but the reason is because the promise of Messiah is coming through it, and that's why the king of the world is going to be Jewish. Yeah. That's the fact.
Yeah. But if you read it carefully, it's everywhere. It's Isaiah, it's so explicit.
Yeah,
Isaiah,
there's lots of places that know about Yahweh, and there are people who follow him. Yeah, and they pop up in the narrative sometimes, like Melchizedek, like this Balaam guy, like Abimelech at one point. Pharaoh with Abraham knows about Yahweh. So there's like this general knowledge of God, the true God in the Middle East at that time and beyond, the Levant or whatever they call it there. And Balaam is one of these mystery characters. It shows up and not only knows God, but is a true prophet of God, and God speaks to him.
Yep.
And whatever he says happens. And through Balaam, God gives several of the most clear messianic prophecies in the Bible.
Yeah.
And so they actually in the New Testament get quoted almost the most.
Yeah.
Is Balaam.
Yeah.
Not Isaiah.
That's right.
Though Isaiah is quoted.
So Balak is the king, and
Balak
he
is
is
the king.
worried about Israel coming onto his land, about
They're
to
going
stomp
to kill
him
him.
out.
He's
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We got 2 million homeless people rolling in.
Yeah, he's the king of Moab.
Yeah.
Which is the descendants of. Is that the Lot one, or is that
It's Lot.
That's Lot, one of his daughters.
Yeah, they're the people of Ruth.
Yeah, that's right. Ruth is a Moabitess.
Yes.
Right, or Moabite. Is it Moabitess? Or?
It's Moabitess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they did it in the feminine in the King
Yeah.
James and
Okay.
stuff. But she's from Moab.
Yeah, so she's from Moab.
And actually, their treatment here of Israel gets them cursed.
yeah.
There's a place in the Bible, in the Old Testament. We'd have to look it up later. Maybe you could put it on the screen or something. It's too much trouble. But it's like if an Egyptian joins you, and in the second generation, like an Egyptian family comes into Israel and they start worshiping the true king, worshiping God, and they get circumcised. In 2 generations, their people are considered Jewish, and they can go in the temple.
What's that called? It starts with a P.
I don't remember.
What's that called? Goodness gracious!
Think about it. But so Egypt is like
proselyte.
Proselyte. Right,
Yeah.
they're converted. They've
Yeah.
converted. Egyptians are like that. Some other people, it's like 2 generations. Some people who kind of misbehave when they come in, it's like 7 generations. Moabite, he says, never.
Wow.
And yet Ruth, the Moabitess. Yeah. So it's like really, really strange.
Yeah, that is strange. So Balak's worried, and so he's going to get this prophet Balaam to go curse the nation Israel.
Yes, he pays him.
Pays him money to go curse him.
So he comes to him, and Balaam's like, if you gave me all the gold in your house, I would not go curse Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
But it turns out he's just actually fishing for gold.
Oh, yeah.
He's fishing.
He's not a great dude.
No,
Yeah.
he's a strange. I don't know why, man. He just kind of reminds me of this. He's like a television preacher almost, but he actually knows God. It's kind of what he's a little bit of a. I know God, but I sin a little bit. Yeah, it's like So he's like, I wouldn't do it for all his money, and because God's like, look, if they come down in verse, it's strange because in chapter 21, I think it's chapter 21.
There's several chapters.
He says. Balaam's like, I'm not coming unless you give me even if you gave me a whole bunch of money. And God's like, okay, look, if they come get you, go with them. Mm-hmm. And then it says, and Balaam went with them, and it angered God greatly, and God was going to kill him.
Yeah.
So why? Why did he change his mind? And it turns out that the reason that God changed his mind is because he saw that Balaam was going to do stuff for money. He was going to actually wind up being against Israel. And he's the one that concocts the plan later on where the idea to get God mad at them was to send in foreign women to seduce them.
Oh, yeah.
That's Balaam's idea.
Yeah.
He's like, look, send in pretty women that worship false gods and we'll draw them away that way.
It worked.
It almost did.
Well, it worked later on, definitely.
What was Phineas?
Yeah.
Took care of that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Phineas pins them to the ground.
Yeah. With the stake.
While they're doing it.
Yeah.
With a spear.
Spear, yeah.
Yeah. Right through his back and hers.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that.
So he's supposed to be going to curse these people, right? Mm-hmm. Verse 20 is, God came to Balaam at night and said to him, since these men have come to summon you, get up and go with them, but you must only do what I tell you.
Yes.
When he got up in the morning, Balaam saddled his donkey and went with the officials of Moab. Right.
But God was angry that he was going.
That's right. He was angry about it. And the angel of the Lord took his stand on the path to oppose him. Okay, so he's in the middle of the road, the angel of the Lord. Balaam was riding his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing on the path with a drawn sword in hand, She turned off the path and went into the field. So Balaam hit her and returned to the path. Then
Stupid donkey.
Yeah. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow passageway between the vineyards with a stone wall on either side. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord and pressed herself against the wall, squeezing Balaam's foot against it. So he hit her once again. The angel of the Lord went ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn to the right or the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she crouched down under Balaam. So he became furious and beat the donkey with his stick.
Yeah.
Balaam's a jerk.
Well, he thinks he can't see the angel of the Lord.
Yeah, I know.
That's why this is funny.
Yeah, but he's still beating
he thinks this donkey's just being stubborn. I actually had this happen to me once.
Okay.
Twice, actually. I had a mule throw me one time. I was riding a mule. And one time, a person invited me over to ride their horse that hadn't ridden in a long, long time. It's a quarter horse. And they were like, look, somebody needs to ride this horse. And that horse wanted to be ridden about like the average person wants to run a 5K. Like that horse didn't want nobody riding.
No, thank you.
And it took me under low limbs. It galloped. It pushed me against the barn. That horse was trying to kill me.
Just trying to get you off.
Trying to get off. I don't want to do this. I just want to eat hay and be lazy.
Yeah.
And that's what it probably felt like the donkey was doing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be ridden.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm trying to break your leg against the wall. I laid down under my burden. I'm not going to go. And he's like, what is wrong with this stupid donkey? And so he's like whooping it. I didn't whoop that guy's horse. I'm just saying. I got off that horse, said I will never ride this horse again.
Yeah. So that's what he thinks is going
But
on.
that horse didn't throw me. But the mule got me. The mule threw me, man. And when he threw me, he stopped.
Yeah.
He was bucking and kicking and running. And how he got me was he took off running as fast as he could. I'm galloping on a mule. They run faster than you think. And he just put on the brakes. And I went, boom.
Right over the top.
Blam. And then he just stood there and looked at me like, horses would be funny if they could talk.
They would be funny,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Balaam answered the donkey, you made me look like a fool. If I had a sword in my hand, I'd kill you now. But the donkey said, what the heck?
Yeah.
Am I not the donkey you've ridden all your life until today? Have I ever treated you this way?
Look at verse 28. The Lord opened the mouth of the donkey.
I skipped that one. Yeah.
Why have I done to you?
Yeah. What have I done to you that you've be? And Balaam just talks back to the donkey. Kill him right now.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like, if I got off my donkey, horse, mule, if a mule threw me on the ground and I was like, you stupid mule, and it's like, hey, man, what have I ever treated you this way before? I would not be like, yes, you made me look stupid in front of all my friends. I'd be like, I need to see a doctor. Yeah. That's what I need. Something's wrong.
The animal is talking to me.
Yes. But Balaam just takes
Those are not normal mushrooms.
Balaam takes it in stride, bud. He's
does.
just like, you made me look dumb.
Yeah, he talks to his donkey.
Yeah.
And am I not the donkey you've ridden all your life until today? Have I ever treated you this way before? No, he replied.
Yeah.
Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the path with a drawn sword in his hand. Balaam knelt low and bowed in worship on his face. The angel of the Lord asked him, why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? Look, I came to you to oppose you because I consider what you are doing to be evil. Oh, yeah. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If she had not turned away from me, I would have killed you by now and let her live. Mm-hmm. Donkey's a girl, by the way.
Yeah.
How about that?
Would have killed her by now.
Yeah.
I mean, killed you by now, but let her live. Mm-hmm. It's like Jonah, man. He cares about the animals.
Yeah.
Be careful how you treat your pets.
He does. Yeah. Sometimes I think people look at the when Jesus is talking about the sparrows and whatnot, you know, and how he talks,
you're worth more than many sparrows.
Yeah, you're worth more than sparrows.
But people interpret that to be, well, that means the sparrow's worthless. It's
yeah.
like,
no, not at all.
No,
like God loves the animals so much.
He does.
He loves you a bit more.
Yes.
Like you're up higher.
He loves you more than like 50 sparrows.
Yeah. But that don't mean he don't love them sparrows.
No, I mean, he made big. It's interesting because in Job, it talks about Leviathan in the deep, which is probably like a big old whale or something.
It's like his pet.
And it's it's like, have you ever seen one? And they're like, no, he's like, yeah, nobody ever saw it except me. I put it out there because I like it. I just like to watch that whale swimmer.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You never got to see a dinosaur in your life.
No.
Like
except a chicken.
Yeah, the chicken is the closest thing we have to a dinosaur. Yeah, birds, yeah.
And sharks.
Yeah, well, they're before dinosaurs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many animals you've never seen, and the only reason they exist is because God wanted to look at them.
He just likes them. He
He
likes them things.
Yeah.
And but here he said, I got to let that donkey live. I like a donkey.
Yeah.
So this is proof that we live in a fallen Narnia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it says it loosed the donkey's tongue and let it speak. So like maybe when we go to heaven, there will be talking animals.
You need to be nice to your animals.
Yeah, they're going to be there in judgment.
Yeah.
There was a culture, I can't remember who, that thought that dogs would be in judgment with us.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember. I have to look it up. But so be good to them things, man.
Yeah.
And the Bible talks about a slothful man doesn't take care of his animal. He doesn't roast his game. It's like if you don't do that, you're like bad.
Yeah.
You're a bad person.
Yeah. There's like, you're in charge of them.
Yeah,
like,
you're a
that's like
steward.
That's the whole, commission from the beginning was that we're to rule over the animals and the creation.
But I legit think animals may speak in heaven.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Some
'Cause
drives
this
me
happens
crazy.
twice.
You want to hear this? Something drives me crazy.
I would love to hear it.
When, I don't know where this came from, but when people talk about the dominion of a creation in Genesis 1,
Yeah.
they're like this interpretation that they're only talking about they're ours to kill.
No.
Have you heard this?
Yeah, no, they're ours to take care of.
Dominion is like, go hunt, kill them, man. This is yours. Like
You can.
but
You
that's weird. You're just like target
You
practice
can
out
use
there.
you can use them for food and for stuff. And conservationists in the United States have learned that hunting is good.
Yes.
If you have bag limits and you're careful, you can keep the spread of disease down. Sometimes you have to remove animals from population. There's you got to keep a balance there.
Yeah, in Alabama, we got to keep the deer down
It's
all
a
the time.
huge.
Yeah.
Well, we almost killed them all.
Yeah.
So in the early 1900s, there were almost no deer left.
Wow.
Whitetail deer, and they started their conservation efforts.
Yeah.
And now we can't keep them out of the front yard.
Yeah.
And people still shoot them. So it's not that, but we are supposed to take care of them. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I hate that too.
That stuff drives me crazy.
Drives me crazy.
Man, it's like it's kind of a weird thing like that. What we call conservation is a very Christian like practice.
It should be.
It is a deeply Christian practice.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a conservationist. I would love to see a lot of stuff done. I have a lot of big opinions about it, but there's another kind of conservationism or environmentalism, if you want to say it, that is wrong.
Oh yeah.
And it treats nature as primary. Like, you're in the bear's habitat.
Oh, yeah,
this is his
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
We can't mess with the forest at all.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Like humans are the world
problem.
enemy.
We're not the problem. We're the problem solver.
Yeah,
is what
that's
we
right.
should be.
You're right.
And,
we're the king.
So, you should do controlled burns of forest. You shouldn't leave it, quote unquote, pristine. We should do that stuff.
Yeah.
Some things won't germinate unless it's burned in the United States. A lot of our invasive species, plant-wise, like privet hedge and stuff, is thriving because we don't do controlled burns. The Native Americans burn this place all the time. It was a cathedral out there of forest. So there's a lot of stuff to think about with it. But in this particular story, there's two talking animals, the serpent in the Genesis.
Yep.
And when it talked to Adam and Eve, they were not shocked.
Yeah.
When Balaam's donkey talks, it speaks reasonably, as if out of its own mind.
Yeah.
So I do think, and the Bible talks about in Romans, this is niche, okay? This is like fifth tier on the target of theological triage.
That's so
okay?
true, yeah.
But like it talks about creation itself groaning for the revelation of the sons of men, that it is in bondage right now because of our sin, because we're the stewards, we're being punished. That means those we're over are punished with us, just like if you were the master of a house and you had a bunch of servants and you got poor, they're going to suffer with you. I do think some weird stuff's going to happen. We know that there's animals in heaven.
Yeah.
Jesus comes on a horse.
Yeah, that's right.
And look, that means there's stalls somewhere up in heaven. unless that's totally, what do we say? Symbolic. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's symbolic.
I mean, it is a new earth.
Stephen Curtis Chapman said, saddle up your horses.
Yeah.
We got to trail the blaze.
Well, I think like it's an earth.
Yeah, and Isaiah talks about how the
It's
lion will lay down the lamb,
Yeah.
you know, chew cud like an ox.
Yeah.
It's chew straw like an ox.
Even if it's those things are symbolic, right? Which some of that probably is. It's still a new creation, new earth. It's not a disembodied.
For a symbol
Yeah.
to mean anything, it has to have an anchor in a reality.
Yeah.
If it doesn't,
Yeah.
it won't symbolize anything.
Yeah.
So there's going to be lions and lambs and stuff out there.
Yeah. It'll be like, it's earth.
Heaven is going to be great.
Earthly things will be there.
Yes, it's gonna be way
It's heaven
better.
on earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just like in the clouds, man. Anyways,
and I think Balaam's donkey is going to make the cut.
did you ever read the third C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy book?
I tried.
So I'm just dropping books today. C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy, great series, one of my favorites.
What
in all
happens in the
world.
third book?
The third book is very interesting. I think I love it. I absolutely love it. Most people don't like it.
I hated it.
But he had Ransom is the main character.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it. And he's had some experiences with God and angels and stuff.
And other planets.
on other planets, right?
I think Mars or something.
Yeah, Mars and Venus.
Wait, Mars was the first book where it was a dying planet.
Yep.
Venus was where the new Adam and Eve were, and he saved the day.
Yeah, yep.
He killed the devil.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He choked him out.
Yeah. In the depths of Venus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paralandra is the name.
Yeah.
And the third book takes place on Earth. And there's
It's so much different than the first two books.
Ransom has a new pet. And it's a bear that is... C.S. Lewis is doing this thing where he's trying to show what a proper human in fulfilling the image of God, doing everything they were always supposed to do. What would they do? What would they be like? And that's like who Ransom is. Mm-hmm. He has had this experience that's changed him utterly and brought him very close to Christ, basically, and or to what he would be like in the new heaven, new earth, right? And he has this friend, this bear, that is growing up into sentience. That's growing up it's like he's raising him up into a person almost, not like a human, but like a person.
Yeah,
it's neat. It's fascinating. It's really well written. But it's on the same ideas like that. The animals are different under proper human dominion.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool.
I highly recommend that book more than other ones.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish it.
It's just so different.
It's very philosophical. It's not. The others are kind of adventurous a little bit.
It is. Did you finish it?
No, I hated it. And I was trying so hard.
There's a huge beginning hump where you're just trying to like get into it, and it's just so different than the other ones. The second half is wonderful. It gives all the payoff.
Man, I can't wait to hang out with old Clive in heaven, and he'll be like, "Did you read any of my books?" I like some of them, and then I'm just gonna go on because
you need to give it a shot and finish it. Try listening to it on Audible.
It's like when people people get old gaga over Jonathan Edwards. Man, I tried so hard.
Oh, C.S. Lewis is way better than Jonathan Edwards.
It's the same.
No,
to me. I can't do it.
Way better. Jonathan Edwards is dry as a stinking dustbin, man.
I'm monogamous with Tolkien. Okay, so Balaam.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about this donkey.
He finally gets there.
Yeah.
And Balak says, "Here's some money." And this is why God's mad at him, really.
Yeah.
Between the lines is Balaam is, God keeps saying, "Only say what I tell you to. Only do what I tell you to do."
Shoot me in the face.
What is it?
It didn't start recording.
Oh, no. Since the pee break?
Yeah. I clicked it. I know I clicked it.
Yeah,
100% I clicked it. Yeah. This is just going to be an audio podcast.
Oh, so like this is not on.
That's not, but this is on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, can we edit that part out?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So, let me give a pause.
Yeah.
All right, so God says, only do what I say, and don't say anything other than I tell you. But Balak, is patting his palm. He's giving him lots of money. And it's pretty funny because the first time he gets up and he says, "Go denounce Israel" in chapter 23. And He's offered bulls and rams, and Balaam comes up and he says, I see him from the top of the rocks, and I look at him from the hill. So he goes to this high place so he can see Israel.
Yeah.
And he says, behold, a people who dwells apart and will not be reckoned among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob or number the fourth part of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright, and let my end be like his. And Balak said, what have you done? I paid you to curse my enemies. You have blessed him.
He tried to curse him. It's like he opened his mouth to start.
And he says, come to another spot. Balak's like, come to another spot. Maybe it'll work over here. And then he says, listen, Balak, and give ear to me, son of Zippor. God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should repent. He has said, and will he not do it? Will he not do it? Glory.
Yeah. Will he not do it?
Oh, yeah. If he has spoken, will he not make it good? Behold, I have received a command to bless, and when he has blessed, I cannot revoke it. He has observed the misfortune in Jacob. He has seen the trouble in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. God brings them out of Egypt, and he is for them like the horns of a wild ox. For there is no omen against Jacob, nor there's divination against Israel. At the proper time it shall be said to Jacob and to Israel, what God has done.
What
Behold,
great things God has done.
a people rises like a lioness, and as a lion it lifts itself. It will not lie down until it devours the prey and drinks the blood of the slain.
Ooh.
And then Balak says, don't curse them at all, or just stop blessing them.
Don't bless them, yeah.
He said, did I not tell you whatever the Lord speaks I must do? And he says, come to another place. Maybe if we look at them in a different direction, you'll be able to bless them. Now, there's a couple things that are important about this, a lot. So God blesses Israel through Balaam. And in the midst of this, he does some, you start seeing some prophetic things.
Yeah.
And it is, God is going to be with the nation of Israel as they come in there. God brings them out of Egypt, it says in verse 23. They are like the horns of a wild ox, which means you mess with the bull,
get the horns.
Right. There's no divination against Israel. And then he does this, verse 24. Behold, a people rises like a lioness, and as a lion it lifts itself. This is a callback to Genesis 49 and Jacob's prophecy to Judah, when he says that there's gonna that a ruler will come from Judah.
Oh yeah,
and that like a lion he rises himself, and like a lion that speedy the prey, no one can overcome him. And
so this is where the theme that's sometimes brought up, the Lion of Judah, comes from. It's in Isaiah also and Revelation.
Right. And Isaiah is making a callback to Genesis 49.
Yeah.
The prophets are always making callbacks.
Yeah.
So that you'll know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They didn't have hyperlinks. And so right here, instead of saying there is a ruler, they're saying the people of Israel. And so a lot of Jewish people this day who don't believe in Messiah will say, look, the Messiah is Israel. Like our people are the chosen ones.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's how they interpret like the Isaiah suffering servant passages
and all that. It's like we are the chosen one. We are the Messiah. And so right here it looks like it because this is applied plural. But he says the shout of a king is among them. Now they don't have a king right now. They're not going to have a king for a while.
It's very far.
So what is he talking about? And right here it's clearly about Jacob's success in the promised land, that they're going to multiply like the dust of the earth, which is also a callback to the promise to Abraham. You might say it like this: the prophets speak prophetese.
Yeah,
they're speaking the same language. They're hitting the same notes.
They do. Yeah,
and so that we can know what's coming.
They speak prophetese. That's a good.
Yeah,
they
speak prophetese, and if you're not versed in it, you won't get it.
Yeah,
and it takes a little bit to pick up on the language.
It does.
And so here, if you're a student of What's the Big Deal podcast, you'll already start hearing some of these notes that are hit. Like there's going to be one that crushes the head of the serpent. There's a promise of a seed that's going to overcome. It's promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob promises that this seed is going to come from Judah, and he's going to be like a lion. He's going to be the Lion of Judah. And all of a sudden, Balaam's making this call out to that.
Yeah,
he is referencing the prophecies. He's a true prophet.
Yeah,
and
this is one book.
Yeah, and so then he goes up and tries to curse him again, and I'm skipping some of it, but he says, "Oh, how fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Jacob.
Yeah.
Your valleys stretch out like gardens beside the river, the aloes planted by the Lord, like cedars beside the waters. Water will flow from his buckets." Remember, this is like a desert. Mm-hmm. They're going to have water. "And his seed will be many waters. And the king shall be higher than Agag," which is a textual variant we could talk about later or not, whatever. "And his kingdom shall be exalted." God brings him out of Egypt. Now, last time he said he brings them.
Yeah.
This time he says him.
Yeah.
And for him is like the horns of a wild ox. He will devour the nations who are his adversaries, and will crush their bones in pieces and shatter them with his arrows. He crouches, he lies down as a lion, and as a lion, who dares rouse him? Blessed is everyone who blesses you, and cursed is everyone who curses you. So we just hit a chord, a prophetic chord. Bing! He hit several prophecies right there.
Yep, that's right.
Callbacks. So when he's in verse 9 there, he quotes Jacob talking to Judah about, sometimes in King James it says until Shiloh comes, because it's a hard word to translate that word Shiloh, so they just transliterate it. Mm-hmm. And it means like the one to whom it belongs. The scepter shall come to the one to whom it belongs. And he couches down. He lies down like a lion. Who will dare to rouse him? Mm-hmm. He is quoting, bing, verbatim from God, speaking through Jacob, saying the king's coming from Judah.
Oh, yeah.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
And then he says, blessed is everyone who blesses you, curses everyone who curses
Genesis
you.
49:9.
Yep. Yeah, and then this is him playing the note of Abraham. Boom.
Yep, and that's Genesis 12:3.
Yes. So he played a prophetic chord here. Listen to it. Mm-hmm. He's telling Balak that the Messiah is coming through this people.
Yep.
That's the king. He's like, I see a king.
So why in the world would God utter a curse against them, right? And that's exactly. And this is like the whole point. Is like it's not happening, Balak.
But Balak's not listening.
Yeah.
What God is saying through Balaam is, these people have come to be a blessing to you.
Yeah. You need to get on board with them.
You need to get on board with these people.
Yeah.
And look, this it gets, you may recognize them. You need to get on
board with me is really what he's saying.
He's saying, look, these are my folks.
Yeah.
Blesses anyone who blesses them.
Yeah.
Which means, hey, man, stop paying me to curse them.
Yeah. If
you'll bless these people, you will be blessed.
Yeah.
But if you curse them, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And he keeps going. There's a little bit more. He brags about himself. He's like, the oracle of him who hears the words of God and knows the knowledge of the Most High, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down and having his eyes uncovered. Now look, I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star shall come forth from Jacob. A scepter shall rise from Israel, and crush the forehead of Moab, and tear down all the sons of Sheth. Edom shall be his possession. Seir, its enemies, will be a possession. Israel will perform valiantly. One from Jacob shall have dominion, and he will destroy the remnant of the city. And he looked at Amalek and took up his discourse and said, Amalek was the first of nations, but his end shall be destruction. Now, I want to stop there.
That's like shivers down the spine.
Dude, he saw it.
Yeah.
He saw something. And when we get to the New Testament, these guys are quoting from this. The star that rises out of Jacob is for the star that the wise men follow, right? The star that appears. A star shall come forth from Jacob. A scepter will rise from Israel. Again, he's banging Genesis 49.
Yeah.
A scepter, to whom the scepter will come, will not depart. And to him shall be the obedience of all nations, is what Jacob says. And falling down, yet having his eyes uncovered, he sees him. He's not yet here, but he's going to come from Israel, this king. Yeah. He's coming. And to him will be the obedience of the nations. That's what it's saying. Like, he's going to have dominion over these cities and do all these things. Yeah. Anybody that opposes him and doesn't bless is going to fall under the dominion. Psalm 2 picks up this perfectly later, David.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, who the Lord will laugh at them. You have the nations in derision. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry. Yeah. Reconcile him when he's in the way. So this is what happens. Now, when he says God brings him out of Egypt, Matthew riffs on this, and so does Hosea. And a lot of people don't understand it because if you don't speak prophetese, you don't hear it.
Yeah.
He says, out of Egypt I've called my son.
What's that like? Matthew 1, I guess it would be. I'll find the reference real quick. Just so this is part of the Christmas story in Matthew. Matthew is, I guess it'd be probably chapter 2 or something. Mm-hmm. Matthew is notorious in notorious kind of means bad. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's infamous. No, that's bad too.
He's famous.
He's famous.
Just famous. He's famous for his quotations.
It says in there somewhere.
Yeah, he makes a lot of quotations initially about Jesus from the Old Testament, and some of them are head scratchers for people that aren't looking in the right place.
Right. So, yes.
Yeah. So this is it's in chapter 2. The flight to Egypt. Yeah. So in chapter 2, verse 15, when they are fleeing into Egypt
from Herod.
Yeah. It says he stayed there until Herod's death in Egypt, so that what was spoken by the Lord through the prophet might be fulfilled. Out of Egypt I called my son. And the reference is Hosea 11 or 1, but it's even before that, Numbers 24:8.
Yes.
Right.
So Hosea is picking up, it's the hypertext thing.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you go to Hosea 11 and you read it without numbers, you think Hosea is talking about Israel.
In Exodus 4.
Yeah, it's like, what? So, but Matthew's doing something that is very important. And so it is.
Yeah.
And you're going to hit a sour note if you don't speak prophetese.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, in French, this is a famous mistranslation. I think is World War I or World War II. Demander in French means to ask.
Yeah.
One of the people accidentally translated it demand. So you can imagine if you're at a table for negotiating and you're a translator for the French guy and he says, we would like to ask that we do this. And the translator says, we demand that you do this.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big difference.
Big tone difference.
It's a mess up. That's what happens if you don't speak prophetese.
Yeah.
And so
that's a good explanation.
What Matthew is doing and what John does and what every single gospel writer does, Jesus is the second Exodus.
Yeah.
And he's not leading us out of a literal Egypt. He's leading us out of the house of bondage into the house of freedom. He's bringing us out of darkness into the light. He is the second Adam. He is the second greater Moses. He's the greater Jonah.
Yeah.
And he is the greater Exodus. You can leave the house of sin.
Yeah.
And so when he says, out of Egypt I've called my son, he's referencing Numbers 24 that Hosea is referencing in Hosea chapter 11.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand this, it looks like he's like really trying to fit a square hole in a round peg almost.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what? He just riffing stuff. They're forcing this messianic prophecy, and it's like, no, they're not. They're not.
It was explicit in Numbers.
Yes,
and
explicit.
that is about as explicit as it gets.
And you can see in Hebrew. I hate when I say this because it makes it feel inaccessible, but it's really not. In Hebrew, you have plurals and you have singulars, and you can see very clearly from the first to the second that it transitions from plural to singular.
Yeah.
That you go from speaking about a people to a person.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing. This person is coming out of the people of Israel are coming out of Egypt, and they're going to take the land. But a little bit further off, I see somebody else coming out of Egypt.
Yeah.
And what's he doing? It's a king coming out. I see him, but he's not here yet.
He's going to crush
He's
all
gonna
these
crush
enemies.
them. And even
on their foreheads?
On their forehead.
Man.
What is that about? That's Genesis chapter 3.
Yeah.
That is crushing the head of Satan.
Yeah.
He is going to conquer.
There's a lot of themes being tied up together. And the Torah, the Pentateuch, is masterful. Literature is really just masterful.
Okay, I'm going to say it.
literature.
I'm an English lit major. I've read Faulkner. I've read Shakespeare. It's the greatest book ever written. It's not even close.
Yeah.
If you read it.
Yeah, if you read it. And there's a hump of a literary hump to get over if you're used to Harry Potter.
Yes.
Right? It's not novel.
Way harder.
What we call that in writing, Harry Potter's like this, is transparent
Harry Potter,
prose.
I love.
It's great.
We're not knocking it.
Yeah. It's called transparent prose.
Yeah.
It's like, it's cinematic. It's, as you read, everything is visual and you don't notice the writing. You're supposed to not even notice the writing, just notice the story through the writing. The Bible is almost opposite. the writing is everything.
Everything.
For it, like all the details that are the hyperlinks and the connections are in how it is written.
Yeah.
And so if you're just reading through these poems that Balaam is saying, and with as if they're transparent prose, you will miss these hyperlinks.
You'll miss. I mean, I think you come away with a sense of, hey, there's a king coming.
You'll know what happened, but you won't maybe realize that there's a connection.
Yeah.
That this is one unified story that's showing this wicked actor, this evil actor in the story character that is left just being a serpent and is now showing up as these nations.
Yes.
And they are corrupt and they are corrupting.
Yeah.
And God has not had the final word over this evil actor, right? And he is producing that final outcome with the Messiah through the nation Israel. You'll miss that. You'll miss that whole theme.
It's like the string.
You'll think it's just a bunch of random stories packed in together.
It's not. There are callbacks all over the place. And it's kind of like there's a note that runs through here of Messiah. Like anytime a prophet says in the last days, just get ready, because there's a note that runs through. It's like, and it's the messianic note.
Yeah,
and they're bouncing off these prophecies over and over.
Yeah,
it's so rare. The prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, all the what we call major prophets, they all speak Torah. They all speak Pentateuch. And they're very rarely making up stuff.
Yeah,
like I don't mean making up stuff. What I mean is,
I know what you mean.
They're not saying new things.
Yeah, they're rehearsing the old prophecies.
Maybe there's a little more on it.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a little more on it, a little spice or something. Especially Isaiah does this, but it's not new. They're talking about the person that's coming from Judah. They're talking about the Prince of Peace, Emmanuel, the
prophet
King of
greater
Kings.
than Moses.
Yeah, all this stuff.
Yep.
And it's just you can see it. They're struggling with it almost. Yeah. It's like they're trying to grasp it. And Peter talks about this in the New Testament. Like, you see stuff the prophets long to look into.
Yeah.
And you see days that they wish they could see.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to figure out, when is Messiah going to get here?
Yeah.
And even Balaam is talking like that. Like, I see him. He seems close, but he's far off.
Yeah.
And that's how Isaiah is kind of talking about it too. Mm-hmm. And God tells him, is like, I think one of the saddest lines in Isaiah or in any prophet, they all want Messiah. The prophets are looking for Messiah. The faithful are looking for the king to crush the head of the serpent and destroy the enemies of God. And he says, roll up the scroll and seal it. It's not for your generation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a... Mm-hmm.
That's so sad to me.
Yeah.
Because he saw all this stuff, and it's like, you'll never live to see it.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh, and they're not going to listen to you either.
And they're not going to listen.
Yeah.
I think it's worse. Jeremiah preached and everybody tried to kill him, right? He just had a hard time. I think sometimes Ezekiel's fate was worse. Everybody loved to hear him preach, but nobody did what he said.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
What a great preacher. Let's just go back home and keep saying it.
Yeah. Goodness. So this is the story of Balaam and Balak, right? That's over and over again. Balak, the king of Moab, is trying to get Balaam, a renowned prophet, to curse the people of Israel, and he literally can't. He cannot do it. Mm-hmm. He can only speak what comes from God, because he is a true prophet, and everything God says about them is about this, prophecy about the Messiah coming, and that this is God's chosen people for that purpose, and so he's not going to curse them. Right?
Yeah. Well, so then in chapter 25, every single time Balaam tries to curse them, God says, bless them.
Yep.
And we learn in another place that he got back with Balak, and he's like, look, here's what we need to do. We need to send your prettiest women in there.
That's right.
And seduce them away from Yahweh, because that's the only way you're going to get them destroyed.
Yeah. All we have in this part is just the verse 1 of 25, right?
Yeah. Israel remained in Shittim. The people began to play the harlot. I love how they put harlot, because that's so dumb.
What you have harlot?
Yeah, what you got?
I have prostitute themselves.
Yeah, they don't want to put whore.
Well, the ESV I think is whore themselves.
Yeah.
ESV is so brutal about that.
Yeah, well, it should be actually. I feel like stop taking the edge off, bro.
Yeah. This is the ESV. While Israel lived in Shittim, the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab.
That's what it says, bro. Yeah. You can call it a harlot if you look up synonyms.
Prostitute themselves.
They whored.
It's supposed to be a bit vulgar, I think.
It is. Yeah. It's a purposely vulgar. I do not think you should be vulgar for vulgarity's sake. Don't misunderstand me. But when a prophet says something vulgar, you should leave it.
You should.
Because it's supposed to make you go, oh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like there's no cleaning this act up, right?
No, it's like, oh, they're playing the whore? No. Good Lord. Yeah, and so for they invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate and bowed down to their gods. Now we learn later this is Balaam's idea.
Oh yeah, where do you learn that? Where does that come from?
I think Hebrews.
Okay.
Explicitly from the Bible is in Hebrews. I think we'll have to look it up. But Balaam.
Oh no, it's Micah.
Micah.
Yeah. Yeah, my people, remember what King Balak of Moab proposed, what Balaam son of Beor answered him, and what happened from the acacia grove to Gilgal, so that you may acknowledge the Lord's righteous acts. So it's like here's what we got to do.
Yeah, here's what we got to do. Now, that was a stupid mistake. Balaam dies with Balak.
Yeah.
Because he cursed Israel. He tried to be a curse and not a blessing.
Yeah.
He didn't listen to his own words, which is another weird thing.
Yeah.
So they go in there, and it says, verse 6:25, behold, one of the sons of Israel came and brought to his relatives a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the sons of Israel while they were weeping at the doorway of the tent of meeting. So the good folk are devastated that Israel is turning to gods.
Yeah.
And Moses is there, and they're trying to repent. And this dude brings one of those Moabitesses right in front of them while they're trying to intercede for the Lord.
Midianite, actually.
Yeah, and
I guess they're similar.
Yes, and so Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it. He saw this dude do that. He arose from amidst the congregation. He took a spear in his hand. He went after the man of Israel into the tent and pierced both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman, through the body. So the plagues of the sons of Israel were checked. Those who died in the plague were 24,000. God had sent a plague on them. Yep. Balaam's plan was working. There ain't but one way I know you can get that spear through the dude and the girl at the same time. And while they were going in that tent in the first place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the idea.
They were doing it.
Yeah.
And he pinned them.
Yep.
And yeah. And you think, wow. Can you imagine? So they're up there, they're interceding on behalf of the Lord. He's a priest of God. They're weeping. Their hearts are broken. And he looks, and this dude's just strolling through, this woman that they've just done sacrifice to other gods. And they go into the tent. He's like, son of a... Oh, man, he's so mad.
Could you imagine? Sometimes I think about this. Like, if it's obvious. This is like not even hypothetical. It's not like this. But if what would the committee on, like the Baptist committee on what you allow into the Bible would, look like? What would they allow in? What would they cut out? What would they get like real weird about? Yeah. Your traditional Southern Baptist church, this one they'd probably be like, we're probably not going to include that. It's because it's vulgar. It's like it's such a tough story, right? Like that.
We get upset. Jesus made wine.
Yeah. Well, we don't, but
yeah, I mean, people do.
Yeah.
And so he kills her and him. And God is happy about it.
Yeah.
It says, then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has turned away my wrath from the sons of Israel, and that he was jealous with my jealousy among them, so that I did not...
You have jealous?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have zealous. That's funny.
Yeah. It's very close.
It's the same word. They shouldn't have gone jealous. That's the NASB, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're so weird.
Yeah, are they?
NASB is so weird about some of those things.
It's zealous is better than jealous?
Yeah, for this usage. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
When a person is, it's the same word, right? But it's like, it should change. It should translate in English either jealous or zealous based on who's saying it, who has it, right? If it's God that has it, it's jealousy, right? It's his jealousy. If it's a person like that is supporting God's jealousy, it should be zealous. It should be they're zealous for the Lord.
Well, he says though he was jealous with my jealousy.
Right. So it should be
zealous with my zealousy.
It should be zealous for my jealousy or zealous for my zeal. Right. Is what it should be.
Yeah, I don't know. I like jealous.
It doesn't. I don't think it makes English sense though. That's my point. It's like
Here's what we know. Whatever God was feeling, Phineas felt it.
He felt it. That's right.
Yeah, he felt it.
That's right.
And so he goes in there and he kills him. Yeah. And he says, behold, I give him my covenant of peace. It shall be for him and his descendants after him, the covenant of perpetual priesthood, because he was zealous for his God and made atonement for the sons of Israel. And then it says that the Midianite woman was Zimri, the son of, the guy's name was Zimri, son of Salu, but the woman was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur, who was the head of the people of a father's household in Midian. So she was the daughter of somebody important.
Yeah.
And the Lord spoke to Moses saying, be hostile to the Midianites and strike them. They've been hostile to you with their tricks, for which they have deceived you in the affair of Peor and the affair of Cosbi, the daughter of the leader of Midian, their sister who was slain on the day of the plague because of Peor. And then it's on site then.
Yeah, Moses' first wife was a Midianite.
Yeah,
and
Zipporah.
And Jethro was a Midian priest.
Yeah,
and so it's like I guess not all of them were bad news. Mm-hmm. Jethro, when it says he's a priest of Midian.
Yeah,
it's ambiguous that. I mean, who is he a priest to which God?
Yeah, but he gives. I think he was a priest to God.
I think so too.
It's like people anywhere.
Look, if Israel's a mixed bag. I mean, so is Moab.
Israel's 100% mixed bag.
And so is Midian.
They're all mixed
bags.
And so is probably Moab.
Yeah.
There's probably some dudes in Moab they may have went over and joined Israel. We don't know.
Y'all know the United States is a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
We're all mixed
Your
bags.
Your church is a mixed bag.
Your church is a mixed bag.
Ours is perfect. But yours is jacked up.
I do love our church. Yeah. Our church is great.
Yeah, so they're gonna have a big fight. It's gonna be a scrap, and Israel gonna win it.
Yeah. I think that's a good podcast right there. I think we got to a good stopping point, man. If you didn't like it, I promise next one's going to be better.
Oh, it just keeps getting better and better, like the Messianic prophecies.
Yeah, and again, we apologize for no video, but only a little bit because most of y'all listen to it anyways.
Yeah, and, we ain't that handsome to look at.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I got a face for radio, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast, and we will see you next week.
See ya.